Glow, why you bring Miss Whoopi Goldberg, the icon, the EGOT winner, into this pettiness? Why? And Miss Netta, now you know Miss Netta gonna come back out with a diss track towards you. You know they're gonna do anything for attention.
Those girls, GloRilla.
Yeah.
Why don't people say she's pretty? That be ugly as fuck.
You think she ugly?
You said it. Like, yeah, they say she ain't ugly. People, men, niggas be saying she ain't ugly. She ain't men.
My mom, I got something for you. You done picked the wrong mother. Let's do it. Let's go. Nah, nigga. Glow ugly, I'm still flirt looking at you. Wish looking at nigga. Shit looking at nigga. Sweet tea and a for a Trish looking at nigga. Something out of apocalypse looking at nigga. Something on the inside of sis looking at nigga. Miss Netta looking at nigga. Oh, devil looking ass nigga.
Graduated at 16. That's fire. You gotta clap it for yourself. Yeah, these hoes is dumb out here.
Mariah The Scientist just found herself at the center of one of the messiest hip-hop feuds of the year, and it's only getting uglier by the day. We're talking viral clips from New York Fashion Week, Young Thug throwing insults from jail, GloRilla flipping those words into a diss track, and now Young Miami stepping in to defend Mariah while clowning Glow for giving colorist energy. What started as playful rap shots has exploded into something way bigger, a full-blown cultural debate about colorism, loyalty, and what respect looks like for women in hip-hop. And honestly, Glow might have crossed the line she can't walk back from. Stick around, because the deeper this story goes, the more wild receipts come out. From leaked calls with Thug, to Mariah's bold moves on tour, to Miami putting herself in the middle of the storm. But before we break down how it spiraled, let's rewind, because Mariah's history matters here. She's not just Thug's girlfriend or some random R&B side act. She's the girl who graduated high school at 16, proving she was gifted way beyond music. She's talented, smart, beautiful, and now she's stacking serious money off her own craft. So when Glow tried to clown her as Tweety Bird in a diss, it wasn't just petty shade. It felt like an attack on everything Mariah represents.
Graduated at 16. That's fire. You gotta clap it for yourself. Yeah, these hoes are dumb out here.
This is a woman who stood tall through Thug's Rico mess, through public humiliation, and still managed to sell out her shows. That's exactly why Young Miami felt the need to step in later. Because what Glow said didn't just sound like rap beef, it sounded like colorist digs too. And the moment that really set it all off, Mariah showing up at Laquan Smith's New York Fashion Week show like she owned the place. Platinum blonde hair, bold cutout dress, walking in like she knew the whole room was stopping to watch her shine. You look so good, like a whole different person. That's what people were saying when Mariah walked into that Fashion Week show dripping in confidence. Ty Dolla $ign, Latto, Ice Spice, Lil Kim. The room was filled with heavy hitters, but the real shocker was Wendy Williams popping out, and the crowd lost it. Fashion insiders praised Mariah's glow up, but the internet? Oh, they flipped the script quick. That's when GloRilla jumped in, tossing shade and calling Mariah Tweety Bird. That clip of Mariah at the show, it spread online like wildfire, and fans didn't see it as just a harmless joke. No, they saw it as the spark to something much messier.
For the girl, what do you think? Girl, this
You
look so good.
I look like a different person.
Remember, leaked jail calls from Thug already had Glow's name floating around, and she wasn't about to stay quiet. She carried that energy straight into the booth, jumping on the beat of Young Jock's Hot Styles classic and unloading a diss track. The bars were brutal. Glow took aim at Young Thug, mocking his style, his vibe, even flipping his nickname into Young Bug. But the most cutting lines, they were for Mariah. Glow mocked her hustle, saying her brand was the size of a pea, and clowned her for holding it down for Thug through all the scandals. She rapped lines like, "Bring size of a pea looking at B. I don't care if he cheated looking at B, as long as he come home to me looking at B." That right there, it shook the internet, not just because it was mean, but because it felt personal. The betrayal hit harder, knowing Mariah and Glow shared the stage just this summer at Hot 107.9's birthday bash in Atlanta, smiling like sisters in the same lane. And now, just months later, Glow was clowning her in front of the entire world. Fans weren't buying her excuse that it was all fun and games. especially not after what surfaced next. Because when that leaked jailhouse call from Young Thug dropped, people finally understood why Glo was so heated, and it changed the whole story overnight.
The girl, GloRilla.
Yeah.
Why don't people say she's pretty? That bitch ugly as fuck.
You think she ugly?
She said it. Like, yeah, they say she ain't ugly. People, men, niggas can't see her. Ain't men.
They just think like Rihanna.
Like goddamn Rihanna. Rihanna. Watch out.
I don't know, man.
Feel like Rihanna. Long ass bullshit ass wig, skinny shit. Goddamn big ass head, big mouth. Man, watch out. It's crazy. They probably niggas really running around sneaking with a tooth Hannah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sure a lot of niggas in a DM and stuff. Probably. You know, but I be feeling like sometimes a lot of niggas like that. It'll be like, if the girl was regular and you want to try to fuck with the girl, you know, it's just like she got a number one song, and you know.
Niggas like, oh, look at him. Bitch ain't like nothing. I would not pursue her at all, ever. Man, watch out. That's man. All the shit I seen about her, seen the video of walking past. That big ass mouth, just like always laughing, like that bitch. She look funny as hell.
Thug wasn't holding back when he got on that call with Mariah. He went straight for GloRilla's neck. He clowned her wig, dragged her frame, and even said flat out he'd never pursue her. His words were cold. Long, old, busted wig, skinny frame, big head, big mouth. I wouldn't pursue her at all, ever. That kind of insult, it cut deep. For Glo, it was like a slap in the face. Just imagine, 1 week people are comparing you to Rihanna, and the next, one of Atlanta's biggest rappers is laughing at the thought of even giving you a second look. No wonder she stormed into the booth with that diss track. She wasn't just throwing shots for fun, she was clapping back at humiliation. And let's not forget, Mariah was on that call too, giggling along with Thug. That made it even worse. Glo felt like both of them were in on the disrespect, so she fired back at both. She even claimed Thug once tried to flirt with her, flipping the tables in her diss. But where it got ugly was when she dragged Mariah, saying she'd put up with disrespect just to keep the girlfriend title. Fans locked in on that part because it didn't sound like playful bars anymore. It sounded bitter with a little sting of truth. Once the leak spread like wildfire, Thug scrambled to do damage control. He hopped online with a message for Glo saying, "First of all, I'm sorry to you for my words. I honestly don't think you're ugly at all. I was speaking from jail, just having a hard time with life. I don't bash girls and hardly ever did. I'm sorry, you twin." Not twin, but fans weren't buying it. The apology felt weak, like it came way too late, especially since Glo had already turned the insult into fuel for her brand. And for Mariah, the timing could not have been worse. She had just dropped her album To Be Eaten Hard Sold separately in August and was hyping up her 2026 tour. And now this drama was overshadowing her every move. Mariah should have been trending for her tour and her music, but instead she was making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Being dragged into a diss track, mocked as Tweety Bird with a pea-sized brain, and clowned for sitting silent while Thug trashed another woman on a call. Meanwhile, Glo was spinning the drama into bars, flipping pain into punchlines. But then, Young Miami stepped in with a whole different vibe. A quick clip went viral showing Miami mid-conversation with Mariah. Instead of joining the shade, she lit her up with love. "My friend is so pretty. First of all, the walk." Mariah just laughed, stuck her tongue out, and kept it cute, and fans went crazy over it. People loved seeing Mariah glow despite all the drama, and Miami hyping her like a real one made it even sweeter. But here's the thing. That wasn't just a casual moment. It was Miami stamping approval on Mariah, almost saying, "We're not letting anyone tear her down." And she didn't stop there. Miami threw subtle shots online too, shading Glo by asking why her disses always circled back to skin tone and looks instead of real talent. That hit a nerve because fans were already noticing the same thing. One fan tweeted, "Since Glo wanna be a colorist, this you? Mariah looks way better. Even Whoopi Goldberg looked better, girl. You got work done, be for real." Another wrote flat out, "GloRilla is a colorist and it comes out every time she beefs with someone." That's when the narrative shifted. It wasn't just about who dropped the harder bars, it was about who crossed the line into something uglier. And that's why Miami's defense hit so hard. It wasn't just about uplifting Mariah, it was about painting Glo as bitter and insecure, pushing colorist vibes. In hip-hop, where image and solidarity can make or break careers, That label is dangerous. Remember, Miami had just shown up for Mariah's album rollout in Atlanta with Queen Naija weeks before all this blew up, so her support felt real, not just for the cameras. Miami's defense of Mariah wasn't random at all. It was pure loyalty. She knows firsthand what it feels like to get dragged online, to have your looks mocked and your name clowned. She wasn't about to let Mariah stand alone in that storm, and that one move shifted everything. Suddenly, Mariah wasn't the girlfriend caught in Thug's mess. She was being seen as a woman too smart, too talented, and too valuable to be reduced to some silly Tweety Bird diss. At first, fans laughed at the Tweety Bird and Winnie the Pooh lines. But once the smoke cleared, the internet started peeling back the layers of what Glo actually said.
I got something for you. You done picked the wrong motherfucker. Let's do it. Let's go. Looking at nigga. Glow ugly, I'm still flirt looking at you. Wish looking at nigga. Shit looking at nigga. Sweet tea and a for Trish looking at nigga. Something out of apocalypse looking at nigga. Something on the inside of sis looking at nigga. Miss Nella looking at nigga. Oh, devil looking ass nigga. Tight ass. Mariah, you don't get away to bring your motherfucking Tweety Bird looking at her. I just found a two looking at bitch. Sexy looking at bitch. You don't think she care looking at bitch. Only if you knew looking at bitch. Birdie and a freak looking at bitch. Brain size of a pea looking at bitch. I don't care if he cheat looking at bitch. No, see, come on.
That's when the word colorist started trending heavy. People noticed Glo went at Thug with brutal punches about his style, his image, his clothes, even his dreads. But when it came to Mariah, the shots weren't about music or talent. They zeroed in on looks and skin tone. That's what made it sting different. Digging deeper, folks pointed out that Glo has a pattern of bragging about being red bone in her lyrics, almost like she treats it as a badge of honor. So when she turned around and dissed Mariah, those bars carried a whole different weight. Fans compared the way she shredded Thug versus the way she came at Mariah, and the contrast was loud. Thug got roasted for everything under the sun, but Mariah, it was only skin-deep insults. And that's why people started asking, was Glo pulling punches because Mariah's light skin made her an easier target, or was she just dodging Mariah's actual talent because she couldn't come for that? Either way, the perception was ugly. Young Miami doubled down hard, framing the whole thing as a colorism issue, which flipped the feud from rap beef to representation in hip-hop. And once that colorist label gets attached, it's almost impossible to shake off. Glo tried to laugh it off, insisting the disses were just for fun, but the damage was already done. Instead of her bars going viral for being clever, the bigger conversation turned into whether she exposed her own insecurities and maybe even her prejudice. In hip-hop, image is everything, and being labeled a colorist can kill a career if it snowballs. Just look at Danny Lee, who faced brutal backlash after her yellow bone controversy. Now GloRilla risks being boxed into that same category. But instead of backing down, she doubled down, brushing off her diss as fun and games. She framed it like playful banter, just testing out bars to keep her name buzzing. But fans weren't laughing. They said when she joked about Thug, it felt light, but the way she came at Mariah, that cut too personal. Then came the petty twist. Glo hit that unfollow button on Mariah, and honestly, that click said more than her whole diss track. It screamed tension. Twitter lit up instantly. One tweet read, Glo unfollowed the backstabbing fake skank with low self-esteem, Mariah the male-centered scientist. That insult only made the situation nastier because it sounded bitter, like Glo was low-key mad that Mariah laughed during Thug's phone call. Even when Glo insisted her bars were just jokes, fans dragged her anyway. The colorist label stuck, and suddenly the talk wasn't about lyrical skills, it was about insecurity and prejudice. And in an industry where image matters as much as talent, that's a dangerous stain, especially for a woman trying to build longevity in hip-hop.
GloRilla, Sister Cat, a Tweety Bird looking ass bitch, Big Frida, Miss Netta. Oh, that's how you coming. Now, in terms of a diss track, I have to give it like a 4, sister. I don't know. It was simply just a bunch of name calling. However, in terms of entertainment, 10 out of 10. The jokes were joking. You have proved that people from Memphis indeed do know how to name call. I simply would never argue with a bitch from Memphis. Somehow, Everybody else caught more of a stray than Young Thug, though. You were subconsciously shading everybody else while also shading him, sister. Now, I don't know if that was intentional, but hey. I am glad that you chose this moment to use this as an outlet to get your frustrations out. Because I am a firm believer in never allowing a man, especially a man that looks like that, to call you ugly. Because have you looked in the mirror lately? And yes, Mariah did deserve all those lashings that you gave her. I actually think you should have went a little harder. A bitch like me would have had Jericho on the track just to stick it to her a little harder. But hey.
But here's the twist. By going so hard on Mariah, Glo actually made her look better. The more Glo jabbed, the more Mariah came off as sympathetic, especially with Young Miami hyping her up like a sister. And Mariah, she never clapped back. No subtweets, no diss track, no shady interview lines. Instead, she stayed focused, promoting her Heart Sold Separately album, announcing her tour, and popping up with Miami looking unbothered and glowing. That silence flipped the script. Fans saw Mariah as rising above the mess, moving like a queen while the chaos swirled around her. Instead of looking weak, she looked stronger, untouchable even, like someone who didn't need to respond to the hate because she was already winning. Meanwhile, GloRilla found herself stuck in the hot seat, defending accusations that her diss wasn't about lyrical punches, but about bias. On the surface, this might look like just another round of rap beef. But the way it spiraled speaks volumes about where hip-hop is right now. We've seen this pattern before. Azalea Banks versus Cardi B, Nicki versus Lil Kim. Battles between women that explode into bigger cultural debates about image, respect, and who gets to define beauty in the game. The problem? Glo's bars hit the wrong nerve. They didn't just sound shady, they echoed a long-standing issue, colorism in the industry. Fans didn't just hear jokes, they heard a pattern. Lighter-skinned women being lifted up while darker-skinned women got dragged. And even if Glo swears she didn't mean it that way, perception is everything. And right now, perception is eating her alive. Young Miami, though, she played it slick. She didn't need to spit a verse or hop on a diss track. All she did was hype up Mariah, throw shade at Glo's insecurities, and let the fans handle the rest. That move positioned Miami as the woman who uplifts other women while Glo came off bitter and pressed. And honestly, it worked. Instead of Glo's diss track being the headline, the real story became Miami defending Mariah and Glo getting dragged with the Colorist label, and Miami flipped that entire narrative without even touching a mic. That's power. So where does this feud even go from here? A few paths are wide open. Glo could double down, keep dropping diss tracks, but risk destroying her image if the colorism talk keeps growing louder. Mariah might stay silent, keep stacking sold-out tour dates, and come out looking like the classiest one in the room. Or Young Miami could ride this wave, rebuilding her own brand as the champion of women in hip-hop. A huge move with the city girls facing shaky ground. But let's not forget, Young Thug is still deep in that RICO case. Every time his name gets dragged into Mariah and Glo's drama, it pulls him back into headlines he does not need. At the end of the day, this feud is way bigger than a Tweety Bird joke, a pea-sized brain bar, or even a leaked jail call. It's about image, power, and who controls the narrative in hip-hop right now. At the core, this isn't just about rap bars. It's about two women in hip-hop forced to survive in an industry where looks, tone, and loyalty get weaponized against them. One wrong move, one careless spark, and suddenly an artist flips from fan favorite to public villain overnight. Mariah stayed calm and played it smooth, while Young Miami turned the chaos into a power move. And Glo, she's learning the hard way that once the internet hits you with that colorist label, the stain doesn't wash out easy. So now the big questions. Did Glo go too far, or was this all just normal rap competition and jokes taken too seriously? Is Young Miami really standing up for women, or is she chasing clout while throwing shade? And most importantly, is Mariah the Scientist about to walk out of this storm bigger, stronger, and more untouchable than before? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this story is far from finished. And if you enjoyed the tea today, don't forget to hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe so you don't miss the next time the culture explodes. And make sure you click the next video on your screen right now for even more messy celebrity drama. Trust me, you don't want to miss it.